Hi, I'm Captain Cothran, Chief Deputy for the Newton County Sheriff's Office, and tonight I'm on the road with Fire Chief Alan Corning from the Lake Township Fire Department. How we doing,
Hi,
Chief?
good evening.
Glad you could join us tonight, and before we jump into some safety tips, which is what we're trying to do tonight, I have to ask you, how long have you been doing this?
35 years,
35 years, which means you started
1984.
1984.
Yeah,
Which means, that, do you realize that we have now known each other almost 27 years?
it's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah.
I had more hair and
Yep.
you were probably a little bit less gray, right?
Absolutely.
Times
Absolutely.
Times have
Yeah.
changed.
Yep.
So Lake Township Fire, you cover Lake Township, which is what?
Yeah. About 40 square miles.
All right, that encompasses all Lake Village and the subdivisions.
Yep.
40 square miles, and do you?
And we also cover north of the river into Lake County, West Creek Township.
Which is
so-
Schneider.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. That's probably 20 square miles over there.
Okay.
So
And how many people? How many volunteers do you have on your department
we
right
got
now?
19.
19.
19.
Takes a lot to get somebody on the fire department now, doesn't
It
it?
does. It does.
How much time does it take?
It's a process. It takes quite a while. We require them to go through firefighter 1 and 2. That takes about 6 months if we can get them in the academy.
Which
Run them
is
through the academy
at
up in St. John.
St. John.
Yep. So they'll go usually 2 nights a week and a Saturday for 6 months. And then we also require them to be EMRs also. So that's another 40-hour course.
EMR.
Emergency medical responder.
Okay.
So that's also additional. So that's another 40 hours.
Wow.
So
It's a huge commitment.
it is.
Well, it's
It
a
is.
huge responsibility too.
Correct.
What do you think? What's the cost to get somebody outfitted?
Just to outfit them in gear, about $3,000
$3,000 per person,
per person.
and that doesn't include an air pack.
Nope.
That's just
That's just
turnout gear.
their turnout gear.
So, what if someone's interested in joining your fire department?
They can either come to the station, if they see someone here, they can stop by the station, or they can call the station. And if there's no answer, there's a machine. Just leave your message on the machine, and we'll get back with you.
Okay. And you have a Facebook page too, right?
Also, yes.
All right, Chief. Let's start talking about some safety tips.
Okay,
Here we are.
very good.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Yes.
Everybody probably has their lights strung, but
Yep.
let's talk about wood burners and fireplaces. What do you
Okay.
think?
You know, as we said, it's the time of year they've probably already been using them. So, but before you use your wood stove, you know, you need to inspect your chimney, make sure it's clean. You know, check if it's not on the outside of the house. You need to check the attic space, where it goes through the attic, where it goes out through the roof.
And you're
And
checking
make
for
sure-
leaks,
Yeah.
bird nests.
Yep. Make sure it's free of debris. You know, you'll be able to see if there's leaks in the chimney.
Okay.
There'll be spots that you'll be able to see. So you'll want to get that addressed before you use your wood stove.
Depending on the setup, you can probably put a mirror up there to see if you can see daylight
Yeah,
too, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you know, some of them have a clean outdoor there where you can put a mirror in, and if it's daylight, you can see up through the top.
How about a space of clearance around a wood burner or fireplace?
Yeah, you're not gonna want to leave flammables. You want to keep a safe distance around the stove. You don't want to leave, you know, newspapers or this time of year wrapping paper
Right.
or anything, you know, laying around. You want to keep that space free of flammables.
Okay. Ashes?
Ashes, you know, use your ash can. When you take your ash can outside, don't set it next to the house. You know, take it somewhere safe where it's not near the house, the garage, whatever.
Okay.
Let it cool off, and then when it's cool, find you a safe place where you can dump your ashes.
And that
So-
ash bucket should be made of metal.
They're usually metal buckets, galvanized buckets, or something of that.
And I'm
nature.
sure you've seen it. A person thinks that we haven't used the fireplace wood burner for a few days. That should be cool, and they'll dump it in a 5-gallon
yeah.
plastic bucket.
Yeah, it. Sometimes they'll stay warm for several days.
Sure.
So
Depending on the wind conditions.
The plastic bucket's not going to work.
Okay.
So
Very good. In the event of a power outage, what recommendations do you have?
first of all, I mean, if they have a generator, and I'm talking by not a built-in standby, but if they've got a generator out in the shed or whatever, and they're going to use that generator to power their home, you know, make sure that generator is not in the garage or somewhere. It has to be somewhere where it's in air that's, you're not gonna get carbon monoxide in the home.
Okay.
So make sure you have the approved cords and make the approved connections to the home.
Okay.
Do it safely.
And in this area, we see it on the news too, where there's stories about a power outage and somebody turned their stove on and opened the door and let their oven generate the heat.
Right, yeah, not recommended.
No, not a good thing.
No.
What do you
'Cause
you guys offer something there, don't you?
Yes, if we're gonna have an extended period of time where the power's gonna be out, we can open the community hall as a warming shelter.
And of course, it's different now. Fortunately, we don't see power outages usually for extended period of time. It's relatively short compared to the way it
Right.
used to be in
Yeah.
1984, right?
Shy of maybe if a bad ice storm comes through or something, we could be for a lengthy amount of time.
Okay.
And that would be a situation where the shelter would be activated and people can come to the shelter.
You mentioned with the generator, carbon monoxide. Let's talk about carbon monoxide detectors for a minute.
Right.
If mine goes off, what should I do? What should I not do?
Well, I mean, the safest thing you can do, you just exit the home.
Okay.
You exit the home, go to, your vehicle, go to the neighbors, whatever, you call 911, advise them. Leave everything as is, leave the windows closed, it makes it much easier for us to find the source.
Okay.
If you open the windows up, it escapes, we get there, we have a harder time finding the source.
So get everybody out of the house, leave the windows, doors closed, let you guys find what that source is.
Correct, yep. And, and also in that, in that aspect, if that is going off, and when you do call 911, advise them if you're not feeling well.
Okay.
So we can get the proper people there to help you, get an ambulance there to
Headache.
check you out. Yes, headache, nausea, vomiting, things of that nature.
Overloaded power outlets.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's that time of year.
It is.
People are setting up decorations outside, they're putting up these nice, and it's pretty, but use the approved stuff. If you're putting lights outside, make sure the lights are approved for outside use. A cord is used for outside use, make sure it's approved. A lot of them have a GFI and they're outdoor rated.
Okay.
So, just bear that in mind, you don't wanna be using the indoor type lights or cords outside.
And when we're talking about cords, I know you've seen it. People, because a cord might be a trip hazard, they may tuck it underneath carpet or put mats over the top of it. What's your advice on that?
You don't want to cover the cord. The more items you have on that cord, the more heat that cord's going to generate. So you don't want to cover it with anything. You want that heat to escape. So you don't want to tuck it underneath the floor mat or run it under the couch or the bed or whatever.
Okay.
So you want it to be free.
Okay. And with the computer, the printer, the phone chargers, the camcorder, all these stuff, you see people plugging them
Right.
into several adapters into one outlet.
Right.
Give us some advice on that.
It's spend the extra money, buy the one that has the surge protector, buy the one that has the circuit breaker built in. That's what they're made for. You can plug those things in. If it trips right there. It's not affecting the whole house.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations for space heaters?
Space heater generally, follow the manufacturer's recommendations.
Okay.
They say 3 foot. Make sure you keep all combustibles 3 foot away from the space heater. That's as simple. It's and if you have children, just be cautious with your children around the space heaters.
All right, Chief. Do you have any other safety tips for us today?
Yeah, it's that time of year also, and it's always the time of year. Just check your dryer. Clean your lint traps, make sure that the vent is free of obstructions on the outside of the house.
You mean the lint traps are supposed to be cleaned
where
out?
Where you get all them little dust bunnies and all them things.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It's a huge fire hazard, isn't it?
It is, yep. So it's amazing that how fast that lint will ignite.
Yeah.
So.
Any other tips for us tonight?
Oh, I don't think so. I'd just like everybody to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So,
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep.